Welcome to the Wild and Curious podcast, a show that's part travel,
part feminism,
and completely inspired by extraordinary women worldwide. I'm Theresa Christine.
And I'm Suzanne Schmedding. So, as you know, I've been taking this TEFL course and learning all kinds of really cool things about the English language and how it's like the official and unofficial language in over 60 countries. And I don't know, it really makes me think about how language is used and how useful it is to speak another language.
Because you know of a little bit of some other languages.
I do, yeah. Like I know a little bit of French and Italian and Spanish, and I think I was very useful to us when we were in Paris. But
definitely. I remember, because I do not know any French, like zero French. And I know I can speak German very well. Mm-hmm. And I know intermediate Italian. I don't know. My Italian teacher might be like, haha, that's very cute. But French is so different in my eyes from those languages. And I remember looking at a restaurant menu and thinking, oh, like this is why people are afraid to travel, because there is just this insane barrier and it is kind of scary.
Well, right. And, I felt very lucky to have been able to help in that way. But when we were in Italy, I completely relied on you. And, you sort of see how even just having any kind of dialogue with someone, if you know a little bit of that language, it can be so helpful in communicating when you are traveling or when you do have to do any kind of basic thing.
And I think it also opens your eyes to the fact, we're talking about some pretty like first world areas. Like we're in the United States, we're talking about Western Europe where we were traveling, but there are places where, there are multiple official languages or there are kind of these unofficial languages. And then when you bring into play maybe social disparity, it can create even just difficulties communicating with people in the same country.
Absolutely. Which is why it's so cool that we are chatting with Ndeye Amy Kebe today, who, along with an NGO, founded Jokalante.
Jokalante means dialogue in the Wolof language in Senegal. And the company uses radio and mobile alerts to share updates with smallholder farms in poor rural communities.
So, like in Senegal, we have 60% of the population who are illiterate, and we wanted really to get them interest for new technologies, first in agriculture, but also change behavior by adopting certified seed, by using organic manure for their soil fertility. So the question is how to interact with these people who are mostly living in rural area, how to interact with them, get them interest, get them giving feedback, asking questions, and that was the big picture. So we submit a project for USAID to help us promoting new technologies, new variety, but also using organic manure for low literate farmer who live with less than $2 in rural area. And our solution was we will reach them by traditional approaches using community radio, but also with the presence of mobile phone in Senegal. It's like everyone has mobile phone, even if it's not smartphone, it's a simple mobile phone. We will reach them directly to their mobile phone, and we will promote all these technologies and get the farmer hear their voice, but also give their opinion and their feedback. And that's how we start looking around in Senegal who is doing that, who already do that, and we didn't find a solution like what we proposed during this project. And in 2016 January, we created Jokalante to deliver the project for USAID with our partners but also to reach other clients with this new solution who are innovative in some ways during in that moment.
Agriculture is that is the biggest business in Senegal. I mean, it has the possibility to change the way that people in these more rural areas operate, right?
Yeah, 70% in Senegal are in agriculture businesses. So it's our main activity here. And unfortunately, 60% of these people who are in agriculture system are illiterate.
This sounds like such an incredible resource for those people, but why do you feel illiteracy is such a big problem in Senegal?
Yeah, I think it is also a problem of gap between rural and urban area in Senegal, like also connectivity, the school, but also the environment for school in urban area like Dakar is not the same in rural area. So people about their behavior, their mentality about putting their kids in school, just knowing that school is a real solution for children, it's for them. It is not a big business for them. It is just, yeah, he can go to school sometimes if I can, but the main activities is how to help the family in the field to nourish them. So for them it is critical because the level of poverty to put all the kids on school and don't have help and hands to help them in the field and in the house.
Yeah, education is something that comes up when we talk to a lot of the guests on this show, where if it's not prioritized, it kind of keeps people who are in this poor or unfortunate situation, it keeps them in that situation. And you're giving them this opportunity to step up and improve their lives, which is really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. What we try to do, it is, if you have access to good information, this information, if they are useful for your activities, you can increase your production, and like that you can also improve your life, and that can impact the education of your kids, the way you are living in rural area, and you will be more open also to the world, and your voice will be heard by others. And by other, I'm talking about organization, NGO, and enterprise.
Yeah, like you said, it's just this domino effect. So that's really wonderful to be a part of it. What is it like being a female entrepreneur in Senegal, like yourself?
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. It's not easy because in Africa we have all the way we are living. We are really familiar, and female, it is not just being entrepreneur, but you are also the responsible of your house, of your kids. All decisions you have to take for the house, to follow the study of your kids, taking care of your husband is also a big picture. And after that, being an entrepreneur, it is not like from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is like working every time, in every moment. You don't have weekend, you don't have pause really, and it's such not easy to organize all of these activities together and get people understand that you are always working.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, at the beginning, it was explanation, but now I think after 4 years, people get interest, and they start seeing articles, invitation, they start seeing all this press, and try now to understand what I'm doing, and that's more easy now. But at the beginning, I was just like, it was crazy. Yeah, definitely.
No, absolutely. I mean, talk about family life. You have 3 kids and you're starting this incredible business.
And I was pregnant during after 1 year or 2 years of the enterprise. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's incredible what you've done just as an entrepreneur, but I think even more than that is you're an entrepreneur in the technological field, which is very often a male-dominated field across the board. But in Senegal, it is very, very important. So could you tell us what it's like for women in tech in your country?
For women now in Senegal, I think women was always entrepreneur and interested in doing business, taking care of family, because we need to work to take care of the kids. Like when you go to rural areas, that's women who go to the field, who don't prepare the field, but all the monitoring, the following, all activities after, I don't know how to say it in English, after the first part of the production, they are responsible for monitoring, following that all is okay in the field. They are responsible for taking care to the kids, preparing lunch at the same time. So it's really difficult. That's why you see many ideas, many projects around that. Like now, Jokalante start a new project around financial empowerment for women, because it's something they need in rural area.
Can you tell me what that financial empowerment project is? That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, it is a new project we manage with some other partners like United Purpose. The idea is we have now many women in rural area who are working and are entrepreneur in an agriculture value chain, but they have such many difficulties to get the credit they want at the time they want it. So this project is how to go to see these women, to train them and build their capacity to understand microfinance institute, but also bank financial organization with some financial education trainings. And in the other side, going with our new technologies to the financial organization to help them set up a new scoring more inclusive for women entrepreneurs in rural area. That's in summary what we are trying to do, and it starts on February.
That is incredible. And these are such wonderful steps forward. With these kinds of steps forwards, how have you seen Jokalante improve people's lives in the day-to-day?
I think in many ways by giving. For me, I think what is valuable for Jokalante in improving people's lives, it is we give them the right information with respect of their culture and their language. So we deliver in local language. We help them taking the right decision, but at the right time, which they didn't have really. All the system around their activities in their language regarding the time of their activities. So the message is structured to their needs, and that this message come at the right time they need it. So so you see, I listen some farmers in Casamance who tell me when I start hearing Furim Awanya, is called The Voice of Farmer in Casamance, our radio program, I know that I have to start preparing my field. I know that it's near the rainy season and I can start looking seeds I want to choose and start preparing my field. That's some kind of feedback we receive, and helping people to take the right decisions for their lives by going to the cooperative, receiving the right advices. All this kind of feedback we receive that just encourage us to continue in rural area, and we are so focused on that.
So when we were doing research and learning more about you and about the business, you, at the time, in this one article, hadn't expanded to all of Senegal yet, and you hadn't started working in Gambia, but you have started doing that. So you're making moves forward. And what are you hoping to achieve in the future now? Like, what are you doing to now expand things?
We want to really to develop sustainable services by showing to all rural person, if it's possible as we can. It is covering all rural area in West Africa, I hope, by getting them interest in information to improve their economical activities, with advice, with critical information to get the right price, the right inputs, all this kind of information that I have access, you have access for your work, but this kind of information is so critical for this person. Jokalante is working now is how to get this sustainable for everyone in rural area using mobile phone, but also including community radio. We know that proposal projects are not really sustainable, so we are thinking in a model of people are will register to our services to get all this information for their activities. So we try to get more partner in more rural organization partner who gather some members in their organization to get all members getting this information. That's really the picture, like you and me are going to pay Google for cloud access, for storage, for getting some articles from Medium or Blinkist, all this kind of services we need for our activities. It is how to get, according to their activities in rural areas, these people to pay really affordable and accessible prices to get information they need. So this information can be on agriculture, on health, on insurance, on every kind of area, but how to put all this information together and deliver to people with accessible and just a symbolic fee for more impact and more sustainability.
One of the things I think that stands out for both of us about Amy is the fact that she is using technology not only to improve people's lives, but that she is bringing it into something that you wouldn't think of bringing technology into necessarily in the way that she is.
Right. I mean, when we think of technology in agriculture, I think what probably jumps to most people's minds is the types of machinery that they're using.
Exactly.
But what she's doing is she is providing information so that they can continue and can produce this better quality of plants and lifestyle and family interaction.
Yeah, I love that she's just making it available to people.
Yeah.
And giving them the option with what it is that they're transmitting, giving them the option of the language that is best suited for them.
In some of the articles that I read, they rely on a core 5 or 6 languages to transmit it out, and then those communities kind of come together. So not only is she providing good information, she's actually creating stronger community bonds as well.
And also she's just like awesome. Like when we were talking with her, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm always so excited to talk to anyone we have on the show.
Oh yeah.
But Amy is just this powerhouse, like in the technology field, crazy cool entrepreneur, mom to 3, like started this business and then a year later was pregnant.
Yeah.
She is accomplishing so much and it's really inspiring. I love that.
She's incredible. I want to be like her when I grow up.
One day.
One day. Maybe.
One day.
And if you are wanting to learn more about Amy and Jokalante, you should check out their website at jokalante.com. That is JOKALANTE.com.
You can also find them on social media. Their Twitter and Instagram handle is JokalanteSN, and they are Jokalante on Facebook. You've been listening to the Wild and Curious podcast, hosted by me, Theresa Christine.
And me, Suzanne Schmedding. If you've enjoyed this episode, there's more where this came from. Subscribe to the Wild and Curious podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also follow along with our adventures on Instagram. Our handle is @_thewildandcurious_, and we will also put that in the show notes for you.
We are always looking for extraordinary women to talk to you on our show. If you have someone in mind, or you are that someone, go to thewildandcurious.com to let us know.